We were discussing like we have like Salesforce and Apex class. So we directly can like cacheable will work in case of first time it will store in a memory. It will store at in the initial time. It will take some time to reload the page, but in a second time it will show the result immediately because it is storing it is capturing the things in their own memory. Okay, as a cache it will store the result. Okay, next time it won't take much time. Okay, so yeah, I will show you how cacheable is working, how it is working and all. Okay, so now what will I do now? Let me just open my VS Code and let me just show you. Let's undo all these things and let me just save that thing. And let me click on Control Shift P. There is a shortcut. Even if you are not aware from shortcut, there is this second command palette button. You can click on that and you can directly go to Lightning Web Component if you want to create. If you want to create anything, you can create it. So if I'm going to create LWC, so what will I give the name? I can say any LWC component demo, something like this. I'm clicking on click button. Let's give the repository name. So this is my HTML, sorry, this is my JavaScript file. This is my JavaScript file. So this is a class which I told you, like this class is like this. So this is also we can consider is this is like in Apex class. If I'll compare Apex class, so what will my Apex class is? Public class name, right? Class name. So this is my another class which is extending the property of this class. Okay, so what will I say? This is my export default. This is default class. This is also default class. Nothing with sharing, without sharing, I'm not giving anything. Default class is a class name. So this is also similar to Apex class, but yes, functionality is different because JavaScript is very light. That's why we are using JavaScript in the picture as compared to Java. JavaScript is very light. Okay, so it always work in the client side only. So how can I use this kind of things? Yeah, so in the Salesforce we have two things. In the Visual Force page is the getter setter. Getter means we are getting the value from the Apex class and we are setting in the Apex class to Visual Force page we are getting, and Visual Force to Apex class we are setting the value. Similarly, first we need to import it and then we need to export it. Import and export will work here. It's as a getter setter. So if I want to one more thing here, very important. So if you will go to interview, then they will definitely, if you are saying that I know LWC, so then definitely they will ask the question, what is decorators in LWC? What is decorators? So what is decorators? So we have three type of decorators in sales in the LWC. First decorator is @API. Okay, @API. So I'll use, let's say anything, str string str, something like this I can say. Second is track string, something like this we can say. Okay, third is I'll say it's a wire. It's a wire. Okay, it's a wire decorator, so I can say anything for wire as well. Okay, so what is meaning of decorators and what is the use of three decorators? So if I will use, let's discuss one by one. If I'll go to API decorator, so API decorator is used for public communication. Let's say we have public, private and global in Apex class. Public, private and global. Public, this is not a work as a global. I will tell you why, what is the use of that. So if you want to do one thing, let's say I have three components. Let's say this is my one component. This is my one component. This is second component. This is third component, and this is my main component. what should I do here? There is small functionality which I built there. So what should I do there? These are my child components. Child means there are functionality different. So all the functionality I want to merge in main component, 3 functionality, right? So I want to merge, I want to do like LWC communication, parent to child communication or child to parent communication. On that scenario, if I declared some variable here, I want to access this variable to parent component or parent to child component, then I will use @API component. So this is a public property. Okay, these are public decorators, I can say. But yes, if I'm declaring the decorators as a track, then it means I want to be use these decorators in this one. Even I want to be use this decorators in this one as well. So I can access the decorator inside this one only. These are for security purpose. Okay, so import is also working as a getter setter as well. So if I'll go to wire, then what is the use of wire? Even I can use wire in this one, everywhere I can use that wire. So I can call this wire to here, like in a private and public, wire is both. Okay, what is the use of wire? Let's say I have any Apex class. In Apex class, method is or enabled. If I want to call this method in this JavaScript LWC JavaScript class, okay, I want to call this or enabled method in the LWC controller, JavaScript controller. So that time I need to use @or enable. If I'm not using @wire, if I'm not using @wire decorators in this one, then I won't be able to call the method in this one. @wire is only used for calling the server side controller method to client side controller method. You got it or not?
Okay, yes, Amadit.
Yes,
Trying to
Amadit.
understand. So,
Okay,
Yes,
great.
Amadit.
Okay, great. So now let's go to one by one. And one more thing. So if I will use
Amadit, what is a track is used for?
the track is private,
Oh, okay. And API is public.
and
Okay.
wire is used for to call the server side controller method in JavaScript, like client side controller method. Okay, this is for communication purpose, like method communication. Okay, so now what will I use here? Let's say I'm using track. Okay, I'm using track. You can notice one thing here. If I'm using, there is nothing in the one line. We don't have anything. We have only lightning element only. I'm going to write track. So track is automatically adding here. Like whatever decorators you are adding now, everything should be visible here. If you are thinking, oh, track is there, API is there, and might be mistakenly you removed this thing from here, definitely it will never be work. It will never be work. So I can say in case of track, I can say it's a string str. I can say it's a default, or if I want to store some value in this one, so similarly I can do it. Okay, so as of now, I'm using one thing here as a variable. I can say it's a str and equal to null. No worry, equal to null. We can say. Okay, so this is my value. Okay, even I can say it's a hi Amarjit. Okay, this is my track aware. This is my variable which I declared. Let's say in Apex class we are declaring the variable. Similarly, I'm declaring the variable in JavaScript side. So let's go to HTML side now. Okay, we are not talking about any Apex class now. We are discussing about the Java one-to-one communication between JavaScript and HTML. We'll discuss it later. So now what should I do here? So we have different tags here. So I can use lightning card. Lightning card is working as a, let's say we have a page block table in our page block table, not page block, is a page block section in Visual Force. Similarly, we have lightning card here. So let me just show you, like if I want to give some title and all, let's say title is equal to my component. Inside this, I can say hi. Similarly, I can write like this, and I'm saving the things. And what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to deploy it to Salesforce, deploy it to Salesforce. But it won't be deployed. It will not be deployed. So if I'll check here, if I'll check to so how can I check in Salesforce whether it is deployed or not? So what will I go? What will I do? You know, this are part of Lightning. Then we'll go to Lightning only, not in Classic. It not it will not work in the case of Classic. It will always work in case of Lightning only. So how can I check, like, where is this LWC there? So what can I do here? I can create one app. So sorry, tabs. I can go to tabs, or else I can go to record page. I'll check, do we have these components or not? So I can create a lightning tabs, lightning component tabs. So I'm not able to see anything. I'm able to see is a LWC communication, LWC parent. There is nothing related to our component name. Yes, no, sorry. Component name is LWC component for demo. Let me remove this. So we don't have anything. Why don't we have? Is because in the package dot in a meta XML, so we don't have anything like this. Okay, so for that, what will I do? So you can go to Google and you can get this file easily. So you don't need to be worried. This is not a logical file. This is like for that you should know the what's the tag and all. So we'll let me just go to my say my previous folder. Let me just copy the things. It's a LWC and my component is a SA LWC text.xml. So if I want to deploy it to in the app page, home page, tab, in a community page, accordingly I can copy this thing and I can deploy it. I can paste in this one. Okay, but yes, now if I will deploy this one, now I will be like this component will be visible here. Now it is showing 2 only, right? So let me just deploy this one. And let me just refresh this one now. Okay, so now it is showing my LWC component for demo, right? So if I'll write anything for this, I can say my component, my LWC component, and then let me just give any of the logo. Click on save button. Now my LWC logo. Let me just go to tab, my LWC component. Now it is showing my component. So from where it is showing? Because in the LWC HTML side, I'm adding my component. Okay, it is SSS, like something like this. So if I will do like this only, so if I will deploy it and I will refresh the page, then it will take some time. And if I want to check the time, like sometimes and all, like how much time it is taking and all. So Nasir, are you aware from inspect element how can we check the time and all? Yeah, so
through network,
network, right?
Yes,
right. So let me just do one thing. Let me just deploy it again and let me just refresh now. So now it will, यहाँ पे कैसे करते हैं भाई, इसमें होता है like refreshing time. I want to
आप कंपोनेंट के बाद लेफ्ट में आइए और मूव लेफ्ट, आपका जो कंपोनेंट है ना उसका वहां पर जाइए, लेफ्ट में जाइए आप,
लेफ्ट में
आपके जो हाँ यार, अच्छा ये आपका यहाँ पे आपका एलिमेंट नहीं बता रहा है यहाँ पे। हाँ नीचे है, देखिए नीचे आइए, नीचे आइए आप। हाँ ये एलिमेंट सेकंड टाइम में कम स्पेस लिया, 393 ms लिया, देखिए सेकेंड टाइम डिप्लॉयमेंट में मिली सेकेंड 393.
हाँ 393. Okay, so first time I think it was showing 708, right? So
Correct.
let me just refresh it again. 1 second. Hello. Okay, fine. So now it was showing the time. It is showing the timing.
अमरजीत सेलेक्ट आपका कंपोनेंट का नाम सेलेक्ट करिए नेम के नीचे और नीचे आइए, वहां पर आपका नाम रहता है, देखिए कंपोनेंट का वो नहीं है आपका, ये फिंगरप्रिंट कुछ बता रहा है.
सॉरी,
ये नहीं, इसको राइट साइड ड्रैग कीजिए तो बड़ा होता हो. नीचे आइए पूरा. हाँ, यहीं पर बताता हो आपका एलिमेंट जो है, तो यहीं पे बताता आपको क्या साइज.
No worry, we'll check it later, no worry. So now what's the things what we are going to do here, like me and Nasir was finding out the things. Like it was showing at the initial time when you refresh the page, then it takes some times, but second time when you will refresh the page, then it will show the result automatically, like it's a quickly response, it will show the response. Okay, so now if I'll go to here, and if I want to change something, if let's say from JavaScript, how can we make communication between JavaScript and this one? By default, you don't need to make any other communication, it will be automatically be a communication. So if I'll go there, so this is my str variable. If I'll go to HTML side, so I'll directly use the curly braces. There is no double quote, single quotes you need to use. Directly I will use this one, I will deploy it. Before that, if you want to add something and all, so accordingly you can add. So if I'll refresh this one, so whatever things I added in the str, so this will be automatically be deployed. So if I'll go there, so it is showing hi Amajit. So whatever I'm writing here, so it is showing it is showing the result from the JavaScript side, right? So it's a small component. But yes, if I'll go to some so in this one, so we have different in as a Visual Force page, like we have a different input field, output field. Similarly, we have lots of things here. So if I'll go to Lightning, oh, sorry, input type is equal to text. Okay, so accordingly, if I want to give some value here, what is the value is a str. And if I want to deploy these things directly, and label, if I want to give some label as well, it is showing high emoji. So it is showing this input field where I can do anything. Okay, so similarly, like we have lots of things here. So so let's say what we want to do here. So this component, whatever changing, whatever I'm making any changes in this inside the input field, if I want to fire the events in the JavaScript side. So what's the benefit of JavaScript in case of Lightning Web Component or Lightning Component? So there is a lots of events, which is standard events we can use. So that event is not available in case of Visual Force page. So what's the event? Events means it will like overcome your efforts. If you are doing the coding with the events, so you don't need to spend a lots of times in the components and to make your custom logic in the events. So there is some events, let me just show you. Let's say I'm using some handle change or event, something like this as a parameter. So how can I create a methods in case of JavaScript? Let's say in the JavaScript So in the Apex class, we were creating a public void, public static void, something like this. So similarly in this one, so we can create a method like this only. As a parameter, if you have some event, then I will use the event only. So similarly, if I'm using some event, so so here we have this keyword. So this keyword will always work as a local variable. So let's say if you are using str, so you will use str if you are going to pass the value from str to inside the method. So definitely you will use this. Without this, it will never be work. Okay, so there is some like so some events, like what's the standard event. So this is a event dot target dot value. Now it is indentation is working fine. Okay, let me do the indentation is this one as well. Okay, fine. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, so this is my method, this event as a parameter I'm using. So this is my event. So what this event does, so once I will change the value in the input field, once I will change the value in str. What is str? Where I'm using this str, I'm using str in the input field. If I'm changing the value in the input field in this one, then it will automatically be changed in the outside of the fields as well. So let me just write this word outside this one as well. So I'm using like this. And what will I use here? So I want to change the things. I want, once I will change inside this, then it will automatically work. If I'm changing the things, if I'm changing the things inside the input field, it will automatically be work. So what should I do here? I will use on change. So this method, I'm calling this, copying this method, and I'm going to HTML side, and I'm going to there, I'm writing on change. Okay, this on change. So like a Visualforce page and all, I will not use like this only. So you can understand, like in case of Lightning Web Component, we will never use in double quotes, inside double quotes curly braces. We will never use. If we are using curly braces and some data we are fetching from the JavaScript side and some controller side, then we'll use curly braces only, not double quotes. Okay, I'm using this one on change I'm using. So let me just deploy it now and let's check.
Majid, there was typo error in the JavaScript file. Instead of target, you said target. Go to JavaScript file. Huh? Here,
Oh, sorry.
target.
Sorry. Even if it is like we'll go there, and if I'm deploying this one, deployed now. See, if you are saying a target, so it was showing this error, right? Because target was, might be, it was target.
Okay.
What's the issue is, it's a event dot target dot value, event dot target dot value, it's str. So it is showing this one. Yeah, fine. We'll go there, HTML. So it is showing value as str. Yeah, correct. It's on change, fine. Input field, fine. So let me just deploy it again. Let me just check whether I saved or not. Save and deploy.
So this handler change event is a keyword, Amajit, to track the events.
Handler change? No, this is a method.
Method. Oh, okay. We created. Okay.
We created
okay,
this.
Okay.
What's that? It is showing training directory. So let me deploy. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm adding like something, whatever I'm writing, so it is working in the output form as well, right? So this is a use of event. Okay, this is a use of event. If I want to say, like after clicking on that, if I'm clicking on a checkbox, then it should be enabled, otherwise it should be disabled. Accordingly, I can add anything. Okay, I can add anything. Let's say if I'm clicking, I'm writing anything here. I'm declaring the another variable is a track variable is true. Okay, I'm writing is true variable here. Okay, this is true. I will say if I'll go there. Okay, if I'll go there, I can say is true. This dot is true is equal to. I will use event dot target dot checked in case of checked. In case of boolean, I will use checked. In case of value input, I will use if value. Okay, and how can we debug the things? How can we debug the things in case of your JavaScript? So let's say if I want to check whether I'm getting the value or not, so I'll use the alert. So this is the very common, might be you are aware, but yeah, let me tell you. So yeah, hi Mansa, hi Apurva, not Apurva, Hurmat. हाँ, आपको कर रहा
हाय
हूँ,
अमरजीत।
क्लास स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ मैं, माइट भी आप बोर हो रहे हो यहाँ पे।
हाँ, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा, मैं कुछ सुन भी नहीं रही हूँ।
अरे यार इतनी बेइज्जती।
हाँ,
हाँ सही है। अरे भाई ये लैट ना चला, कंसोल लगाए।
मैं डिप्लॉयमेंट फेल हो गया अमरजीत।
हाँ अरे यार it is showing Amarjit. So if I'm adding some value in this one Amarjit, so it is showing false. H2 is equal to false because even we haven't used any H2 in this HTML side. So if I'm adding, if I'm copying this line, so you're getting it right. Like if you're getting it, then we'll continue. Otherwise, there is no use.
Yeah, अमरजीत।
No, Geeta.
Yes, Amarjit, getting it.
Okay, fine. True, we can say is true means true, or we can say it's a checked or checkbox, something, anything we can do it. And instead of str, I will use is true. So and make sure like JavaScript is a case sensitive. Like if you are using is true here, like capital, it's a is true is capital, and you are using it's a small t, so that will not be used. Okay, so it's a on change. We can say on click or on change. Okay, so let me just copy this one and accordingly deploy it. अरे checked input boolean type था, ये बन क्या गया? 1 second. Let me do one thing. Let me create
टाइप की स्पेलिंग गलत,
क्या वही
टाइप की स्पेलिंग।
टाइप किस पहले तो कर लेंगे, ठीक पहले ये कर लेते हैं। लाइटनिंग कार्ड कहाँ से आ गए यहाँ पे? वो लाइटनिंग कार्ड तो कैसे आ गए? एक सेकंड यार, ये चलो मुझे एक अंडो करना है, दिमाग खराब कर दिया इसने। So let me, I removed input, lightning input, and I'm keeping this one, and let me just deploy it again. Undefined input is closed. This is addition variables. Input checkbox, lightning input, undefined, edition undefined. Is true. Am I using is true? Yes.
Because there is no default value, Amarjit, is true को कुछ default value लगाइए तो undefined नहीं
Yeah,
होगा।
yeah, exactly.
हाँ वहाँ पर
You are right. You are right. You're right. आपका जावास्क्रिप्ट तो अच्छा होगा ना भाई नसीर?
मैंने उतना अच्छा नहीं है,
नहीं मतलब फिर भी आपने,
ठीक ठाक है Amarjit।
हाँ मतलब ठीक ठाक होना चाहिए यार, ठीक ठाक भी हो वही बहुत है। JavaScript is very necessary. It's showing false, but still it is not showing that expected value we are looking for. Okay, it is showing. Okay, ये तो चलो सही चल रहा है, इसका तो कोई नहीं है। But just wait a minute, let me just check.
वो event dot checked है या कुछ और है Amarjit? Event dot target dot checked है या कुछ और है value? कुछ
नहीं checked ही डाला है मैंने। It's a checkbox. It's an input type checkbox. मैंने ऐसे डाला था label also put in this one. Lightning input I used. It's a boolean type checkbox. Oh, एक second. What I'm using here? I'm using boolean. यार shit. Even previously it was correct one, but yeah, I was using boolean. If I will do the undo as well, so that should also work. That should also work. But yes, let me just refresh it. Let me just check whether it is okay. Then okay. Otherwise, we'll deploy it again. Let me deploy this one as well. So this is showing checkbox now. Okay, this is showing checkbox now. So what's the input is? Where is the input? Extra input is there. Deployed now. This checkbox is showing this value. So it is showing true now. Okay, this is showing true now. If I click on this, now it will be showing false. Okay, I think you got it. Let me just explain it again. So what we are going to do here. So I'm just trying to show you. So what's the meaning of these events? So if I will use value, then if I'm changing the any value, then it will automatically be changing this one, and it will capture in this str, which we are using in the front end. So same way, if you are making it true, this checkbox, then this event will fire, and this event will fire, and it will show whether it is true or not. So if I'll making this true as a true, then it will show true, otherwise it will show as false, because this is alert. This alert means this dot is true is showing. True means true, false means false. So if I'm saving this one and I'm deploying it again, let me show you what I want to say. So if I'll click on this one, it is showing true, is true. After the is true means this is true. If I'll make false, then I can make it false. On the behalf of that, if I want to make some logic, if I want to implement some logic, let's say I want to do if condition, if is equal to true, then I want to like display some name. We can say it's a we can declare some track variable and just a name, and in this name I
So
can
for every variable, Majid, we have to use a track or at API or at wire.
not necessary. Even you can use where, you can use let.
Okay, integer, var or string or something. Var we can use var. Okay.
Where we can use. Okay, so accordingly I can say this dot name is equal to, we can say web SDC. Okay, so and let me do one thing. Let me go there and let me the name we have. Let me go to HTML. In this HTML, I can use name and I can deploy this component. See, now it is showing. Else we can add web address is true. Else we can do one thing. Web address is, what is showing else if else area. Oh, sorry. इसी के अंदर कर रहा था ना. Okay, if it is false. Okay, it's like this. So if it is true, then it will show this error. If it is not true, then it will show like it is false. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me just deploy this component, and whatever thing like Apex class, how to like call Apex class and how to call methods and all, then all these things will do it like tomorrow. So क्या error दिख रहा है यार?